Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have John Phillips, co-founder of PredictIt, the stock market for politics. We're going to take a look at the Wisconsin and Utah Senate elections as we are moving out of primary season. And John, it's really interesting what has been happening throughout the past few months as we've been speaking, and just how influential who's ever supporting those particular folks that are running, just how important that is. What's happening in Wisconsin?
Well, Wisconsin's interesting, Jill, because it's one of the three subjects we're going to talk about today where the Republicans are ahead in terms of as predicted traders see it. In other words, the predicted traders think that by 55% odds that Johnson, who's the Republican incumbent, is going to prevail in Wisconsin. Now, that sounds good for the Republicans, except that's way closer than it should be in a safely Republican state for an incumbent Republican in an off year. So, if Johnson does not prevail, it's hard to see how the Republicans are going to take over the Senate. Now, there are a lot of other races, including Pennsylvania, which is in play, but predicted traders think that Johnson's going to prevail, but it's down to 55% odds.
And what's happening over in Utah?
Utah is one of my favorite states electorally. Not only do we have an office there, and I visited it a couple of weeks ago, but we also, the politics there is so interesting. And what's interesting there is, predicted traders think it is a lock that the Republicans are going to hold on to the Senate seat there by 90% odds. But the polling is showing that independent challenger Evan McMullin is closing. So predicted traders don't think that's going to be enough to put McMullin into the United States Senate from Utah. Now, these men, got along very well before, and in fact, one endorsed the other, and not so much so this year. They're fighting for the same U.S. Senate seat, and predicted traders, however, think it's a 90% odds that the Republicans are going to hold that Utah Senate seat. Again, you would think that'd be good news for the Republicans. But to scratch beneath the surface, and it's not so much so.
And what's happening with the House when we think about the overall 2022 election?
Well, that's the big one, right? I mean, right now, predicted traders think that the Republicans are going to take it by 73% odds, but that was way higher earlier this year, even earlier this month. So 73% odds that the Republicans, that the party out of not holding the White House, is going to take the House of Representatives in the first midterm elections. That's very low, actually. But predicted traders say the Republicans are still slated to do that. There's controversy over the quality of some of the candidates on both sides, but that doesn't seem, it depends on whether it's about the economy, about Ukraine. Some of these issues are, pocketbook issues, others are not. And then, of course, you've got the influence of the former president, who is, on the sucking up a lot of the oxygen on the Republican side in particular, with his claims that he's being treated unfairly.
All right. Certainly to watch a lot into the end of the year here, John. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks, Jill.